Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when we feel like 8 o'clock. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and this is B. Together, we are B Pal. And we started something new here today. We're going to start doing like big games that we are both interested, that a lot of people should be interested in. And quite often, maybe B and I disagree on it. So it should be a lot of fun. You can see, you can pick who you want on this. Tell us in the comment section who you think is correct, why you think it's correct, and all of those things like that. We got to get some communication down there again. Connect. Namaste together, right? Namaste. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're looking at, oh, by the way, before we go on, over at Patreon, free month right now. Go over there. You get we'll reimburse you your money. We just want people to check us out. You can see our record. We're doing very well. We're also starting things.
Baseball's coming.
Baseball's coming. If you sign up now for hockey, you're part of baseball as well.
And another thing too, if you happen to sign up with PayPal, we can refund you, and it's absolutely instant.
Yeah, if you sign up with PayPal, it's instant refund. And it's just lots of fun. We're starting chat rooms over there, all kinds of stuff. We're having a blast. So we'd like to have you over there. Give us a little bit of support so we can bring you this fine programming without having to get second jobs and stuff like that. Okay. So anyways, we were bantering on about the games, and we have our premium pick over there. We have a weekly pick. We hit our weekly pick again yesterday for Winnipeg. But we're looking at the Lightning and Leafs today, aren't we, B?
Yeah. We got Tampa Bay coming to Toronto. Tampa Bay is coming off a 5-4 loss to Detroit. Toronto is back home off their road trip. They've had a couple days off. Morgan Riley is expected to be back for Toronto. Toronto has lost 3 in a row coming into this game. Our big differences here is Perlo likes Tampa Bay here on the road to win. And I truly believe that Toronto picks up a win here. I think Toronto beats Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's like my lean on the Lightning is that the game again in Detroit is embarrassing. It was embarrassing, and they showed in the third period that it was embarrassing because the first two games. I was talking to Doug Reed, and he said, "You don't think they were tired from the Boston game and all that stuff like that because it was a back-to-back. Not that tired. Like, this was a team that went in there, I think, arrogantly and just thought maybe celebrated that Boston win a little too much the night before or something. I don't know. Just looked over Detroit terribly. Like, I mentioned it in another video, and I was talking to B about it. My wife woke up from her nap and was watching the game and said, "Why isn't the white team even trying?" Like, she doesn't even watch hockey very well, and it was like very apparent to her that it looked like Tampa was just like an exhibition game or something, and that's what it looked like to me. It was just brutal, and I have a feeling Cooper is not one to tear the freaking paint off the walls, but I have a feeling after that game he's fucking pissed. Pissed. Like this to me, I think you're going to see a different Lightning team from here on in. He's going to keep on pounding them. Oh yeah, you remember we played Columbus and lost in the first round last year, assholes. Maybe we shouldn't be taking anybody lightly by now. You haven't figured it out by now. We got the playoffs coming up. Can you imagine hearing this in the room right now? This is what I'm saying. This is what I want to tell that team. You think they're not coming back hard here against the Leafs? Damn right. And
as much as
write them off.
As much as Cooper is probably flipping out in the dressing room, you gotta think Keefe is flipping out just as much with Toronto. They've lost 3 in a row coming into this game. Tons of talent. I honestly can see Anderson having a shutout in this game. I think he's going to play an outstanding game. I think Toronto's really going to turn it up here. They have a lot to play for. We're in the final stretch before the playoffs. They got Florida on their heels. These are 2 very talented teams. Again, Tampa Bay's on the road. Toronto's got to have a home advantage. But again, this first game off the road trip, I I just think I think Toronto's got they're going to be playing extremely desperate hockey, and I think they have a lot more to play for right now than Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay does have Toronto's number. They're 6-1 in the last 7 meetings in Toronto, but again, I think this is a different situation. I like Toronto here for sure to win.
Well, I think Vasilevsky will. Vasilevsky. We got to remember, it wasn't Vasilevsky in net against Detroit as well, and I think Vasilevsky certainly can keep up to Anderson, even if Anderson's playing really well. I think the problem with the Leafs is they're so top heavy, it's almost too obvious for the people in the room. Like, there's so much pressure on those top two lines because they're looking at the bottom lines and going, geez, most of these guys probably shouldn't even be in the league. And I really think that's the biggest problem in Toronto. They have no depth on that team whatsoever. And you got guys like Cirelli, Gord. They got Gord playing a fourth line role in Tampa Bay. I think he's going to absolutely crush Toronto's fourth line.
Hey, Perlo. The Ranger line moved
up or down?
Down. It's at plus 140 now. It was at plus 155. It's dropped 15 points in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Can't talk about that.
The New Jersey game too, it dropped 15 points.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, the thing you got going for you is that Riley's back, apparently, tonight. Yeah. And that Hedman is not going to be playing for Tampa Bay, and that does change their defense quite a bit. But
Stamkos is still out as well, I think, eh?
Stamkos is out, yeah. I think most of the arrogance that comes from that team is energy that comes from Kucherov. Kucherov, to me, like, the more I watch the guy, the more I'm like, icky, dude. Icky. He won't do interviews. He doesn't. You were talking about Patrick Waugh a lot of time about avoiding signings and stuff like that. Like, that's all prickish stuff, right? And that can rub off in a room. I think that sort of, without Stamkos there, you miss that balance. But honestly, I don't see any arrogance going into this Leafs game. I really think Cooper's going to have them running hard. It's a tough game to bet, but since we're going back and forth on this and I'm looking on the lineup, let me just put it this way. If Tampa Bay doesn't win this game, I'm not betting any futures on them in the playoffs. This is a must win for them after that.
And that's one of the things, too. I look at this game as well. I look at this game as Toronto. If Toronto can beat Tampa Bay here, I do believe they can make a hell of a run for the rest of the season. This is the type of game that can get that whole dressing room pumped up. If they can win against Tampa Bay tonight, they can go on a tear and go 10-0 in their next 10 games. I think it's that type of game for Toronto. It's going to be a playoff type of game for sure.
I think they can. I just don't believe in them. I haven't believed in them. I picked Toronto to be a bubble team in the beginning of the year. I just simply did not like their defense at all. And with any injuries whatsoever, without Jake Muzzin in, I'd say not having Jake Muzzin, even with Riley back, is more of a problem for them than not having Hedman for Tampa Bay, to tell you the honest truth. They just have no depth in that lineup. They got guys like Hole playing, Marincin playing higher than they should, or maybe even should be playing at all in the league. Dermott, it's just a very weak defense against a very deep Tampa team that I believe they're going to listen to their coach tonight. I really think that this is huge, and it's going to be, so we're still on the same different side. This doesn't happen very often, by the way. We don't usually get on completely two sides in a game like this. This is why we decided to do this video. We're going to post it to my channel because it's a new little lean that we like to do, and you get to see a little difference. What we like to see is, you guys tell me what you think about this. Do you agree with B or do you agree with me? And just have some fun with it down there in the comment section. I think that's all I got for this game. we'll just have to see what happens, Pete. See what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do some dares on this out down the road.
I ain't doing no dares. You can do your dares.
No.
I
Oh,
ain't
by
doing
the way,
dares.
put your 3-pick parlays down there. Whoever wins can dare me. You can look at the one I did yesterday.
I'm gonna put a parlay just so I can dare you.
Okay, they're good. You can go down there yesterday. Go look at my videos yesterday. I did a little dare, and I did one before that too, where I did the Perlo dance for the whole thing. Check out my videos. I'm missing you guys. Okay. I guess that's our full 42. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna be right probably, and that's just the way it is. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.
You gotta turn it off, Steve.